Brandon McCallum.
Hi, I'm Andrew Ivimey.
Welcome to episode 6 of Fan vs. Fan, season 2 of The Flash.
Lightning bolt throw. Lightning bolt throw.
Who exactly came up with this terrible idea?
Okay, it's not a terrible idea.
We make Zoom think that Linda is Dr. Light and use her to draw him out.
It's too dangerous, right?
Maybe if she didn't scream every time she fired.
Take my emblem, throw it through the breach, Zoom will come to collect my body, and we can trap him.
Come on.
All right, so let's talk pros. Let's get right into it for this week's episode. I don't know about
recap.
you. Let's recap first of all, first and foremost, because a lot did happen tonight. So in tonight's episode of The Flash, we see the escape of Dr. Light, the replacement of Dr. Light, a plot that didn't quite work out for anybody, and that old Dr. Wells wheelchair might get dusted off. So there's a lot. Oh, come, that hasn't been seeing any use for a little while.
I'm like, too soon, but he wasn't actually paralyzed. So.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a lot going on tonight. I'm excited to get into it. So let's jump right in. Let's start talking pros. All right, pros. Tonight's episode. What did you think? What do you like?
I gotta say I love Zoom. This guy is terrifying.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
When Jay used to talk about him, he's like, he's so scary, we can't stop him. I'm like, whatever, he runs fast.
Right.
But he's so scary.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying.
Like, I haven't been this scared since Gorilla Grodd.
Right.
Like, and just the design of him, just like the black, everything's black, and that mask that looks like his face, but it's just like a Hannibal Lecter line.
That mask, it looks like it looks like a wet costume. Like it looks like he's drowning in tar all the time. Still manages to survive.
It's a little bit like Venom meets the alien from Aliens.
You're right. Yeah. It is a little Venom. It's a little Venom. It's a little alien-y. I'm right there with you on that. Like the costume design is phenomenal on Zoom. Mm-hmm. Looks terrifying. Sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
A phenomenal. I forget the name of the voice actor.
I also don't remember.
Yeah. But
who's doing it? I know. I only just keep remembering that he played Candyman. I'm like, I get it because this guy's terrifying. So they got the voice.
Yeah,
of Candyman
striking terror into our hearts with that voice.
20 years later,
looking phenomenally terrifying. I just look wise, great villain. What else though? What else are you feeling?
I've said this like every week since we started, but I love Patty and Barry together.
Okay.
They're like, they didn't get to do much, but they had a couple scenes, and like, I just believe it, and they're cute for each other, and they seem good for each other.
They had a great back and forth. They had a cute little kiss. It was, yeah, that's a great positive. I'm with you on that one. Like the Patty back and forth was really good this episode. I think that this was actually a fantastic episode, which is kind of surprising because like it went directions that I didn't expect it to go. Mm-hmm. Like, I was actually kind of judgmental of this episode within the first act. I was kind of feeling like, oh, this is not going to be what I want this episode to be. Then very suddenly, it really, like, it switched gears a lot quicker than I expected. It got a little bit more terrifying than I expected. I loved the Zoom fight. I loved the build up to it, the misdirect, the misunderstanding. I'm really excited about the Patty thing. I like that Linda's involved in the group now.
Yeah, because actually another pro I do have is definitely that this show in season 1 needed a lot more female characters.
It certainly did.
Especially because Iris didn't get to do anything for
season 1.
Yeah.
Like
if
we were to get what we wanted in season 1, which was to remove the fact that Iris exists, then we definitely needed a lot more female characters to come in. But now we got a ton of great female characters.
Great female characters. Even Iris, now that she knows, is a much better character. She's been doing such stronger things.
She is a little bit more well-rounded now. Well, also because of the fact that like you don't have her playing every need for a female role anymore. Like the Patty and like now to a larger extent Linda balance, I think really does balance it out. And I want more Linda to come back, and I want Patty to stay around, and I think that balances out Iris a little more as well.
I think it does too. I think mostly that Iris doesn't have to get like just dumb storylines where she can't figure out who the Flash is really helps, because all they could do was give her storylines, which is like, I wonder who the Flash is last season. So now that she knows and she gets to be proactive, like even just that speech she gave to Barry when she was like, no, we let Linda decide if she wants to help. I'm like, yeah. You let Linda decide. You don't make choices for people. You tell them Your plan.
Oh, that was another pro of me for this episode. I don't know why. I've got a soft spot when a character has to play a character within a character. Something about an actor having to act as their character, but being purposefully bad at acting. That whole mock fight between Linda as pretend Dr. Light and the Flash. I loved that. Like, it's time for me to kill you now, Mary. Like, we're gonna skip the kill part. Something about actors playing a character that can't act, trying to be a different character, I'm like, it's so many levels, it's so, like, farcical, like, it's just fun.
It has a lot of levels, and it can't really go wrong, because even if those actors,
Right.
they are good actors, but even if they weren't, that scene's always fun.
Right.
Just hilarious, over-the-top, bad acting scenes.
Yep.
It's a great time.
Yeah, like it's just fun. It's playful, and one thing that I will give credit to this episode is really just going a direction that I didn't see it going. I really made an assumption that this was going to be an all Dr. Light episode. I didn't expect that fake battle, that trap, to play out as quickly as it did. I kind of called it at the beginning of this episode, and that was just kind of a snap decision and judgment of this episode. It started and I was like, oh, it's going to be Linda pretending to be Dr. Light. That's going to be our whole episode, is Linda pretending to be Dr. Light. And we got there a lot quicker than I expected, and we got to a Zoom reveal a lot quicker than I expected.
I think we should throw it to cons.
Yeah?
So I can disagree.
Oh, all right, here we go. Cons.
Yeah,
Disagree.
Cons. I kind of disagree. I found this episode 60% too slow. I know they were going on the offense, so they were training Linda, and the montage was fun where they trained Linda, but for 60% of the episode, there was no antagonist. It was them coming up with a plan to lure Zoom out. He didn't show up till like minute 40 of 60 minutes. Yeah. You keep saying that it happened so fast. I'm like, no, it was 40 minutes in.
Well, like, I didn't expect it to happen at all, is my thing. Like, I really thought it was going to be just we need to figure out this plot. Dr. Light might show back up and actually fight Linda. It's going to be this and that.
What did you think the antagonist would be? Just fighting Dr. Light again? Like, Zoom was going to show
They've
up.
done that on
the
this show. They've done that. We've had disappointing episodes in the past where it's all just about, we need to prepare for this thing, the same thing happened again, back to square one. Like, we've had that kind of defeatist, deflated third act before on this show. So I was kind of expecting that. I thought I knew what it was going to play out, and I thought it was going to play out as a soft episode. So the fact that it got there, I know it wasn't as early as you'd like, but a little bit quicker.
It wasn't as early as I'd like, because I watched the trailer and I knew Zoom was coming. So I was like, oh, maybe in like minute 15?
Right.
Or like even 30?
Right.
Yeah, I felt it took a little long. I mean, he was great once he got there.
Right.
And like the Linda play fight in the montage was fun, but I thought it was just a little slow getting there, like talking to the fake Linda, her escaping and hacking things apparently as she ran out naked, which was so unnecessary. She could shoot lasers. She can just go through doors. There was no hack thing necessary.
Yeah, and also like just get some security, Star Labs.
Oh my god. They have a metahuman prison and zero security.
Idiot. Was there a password? How were they hacked in the span of Cisco finishing his sentence?
She doesn't have super
It was
speed.
literally like she ran past Cisco, gave him a slight shove, and Cisco had time to say the sentence, "Caitlin, lock everything down." Caitlin said, "Okay. We've been locked out. She's hacked the system." How in one sentence?
Yeah,
so
unless we're
stupid.
going to get a reveal later that like something else happened and someone's helping her and there's a mole. I don't know. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, that was a con for me. That whole rushed open. Like it was very just a like and Patty figured out she could be invisible, and now she is invisible, and now she ran out, and now she hacked you out of the system, and now you're out of the system. Now she's at large, but whatever. Let's go talk to Linda. And I'm like, okay, let's just skip the whole escapism thing and just like go right to Linda. Let's start that like you have an idea. Maybe you didn't leave Dr. Light in her jumpsuit in her cell and she was wearing some sweats. And you're like, we still have the jumpsuit, Linda. We skipped this whole nonsensical cold open.
There was 10 minutes of nonsense to get a jumpsuit. And to think that Linda, when trying, like Dr. Light Linda, when trying to kill Barry, wouldn't use an invisibility power?
Yeah.
Like she would just hold that in the chamber
she
for
had to be
episode
naked.
2.
Like that's probably like cold and uncomfortable.
It's not
like
even winter apparently.
It might be fall in Central City.
Like Dr. Light should have no costume. She should continuously be invisible,
right?
shooting
Invisible
lasers at people,
invisible and naked. Yeah.
That, I mean, I guess if you can blind people, that's like being invisible, but also being invisible is like being invisible. So I would go with being invisible.
Okay, you make a strong point there.
Or invisibility, yeah, I think I do.
Okay.
So I think it was kind of weak that they just introduced that so she could escape. I'm like, no, that's a power she would have used in the fight. Because if they just never caught her and she was invisible and ran away in the last episode, they could have just been like, Patty, you're Dr. Light now. Or no, sorry, Linda, you're Dr. Light.
Linda, you're Dr. Light.
It would have gotten us there 10 minutes faster. We could have 10 more minutes of Zoom.
Or they could have just had the suit. They could have just had the suit. You know, like,
Barry could have just made it real quick.
The prison's already highly illegal. Like, why is it like you didn't want to, like, oh, asking for that suit would be a violation of their rights? They're in a hole in the earth. Ask for the suit. Give the woman a jumper.
There's no privacy to use the bathroom, but they can't ask for that suit.
Exactly.
It might not even be a bathroom.
Oh, I think, like, my big con for the episode is how ham-handed Earth 2 is. Dear, those Earth 2 scenes with Wells, it's like, you're my daughter. Where's my daughter? I hope my daughter's okay. And the fact that a news report had her phone gently laid at a 45-degree angle, screen cracked, the body apparently just obliterated, but the phone coming in from Daddy. Like,
Daddy really got to me.
The fact that it wasn't Dad.
She's a grown woman.
She's a grown woman.
She has her dad and her phone as Daddy.
Daddy. It was so troubling. I'm like, everything that's happening on Earth 2, I'm like, these are weird performance choices. It's a weird direction they're getting. I'm being like, now this isn't like the Earth you know. Actors here aren't as good. Like, it's weird because I've seen Tom Cavanaugh in season 1 perform amazing, and now it feels like he's being told not to.
Earth 2 is a world that has worse writers.
Yeah.
Second tier writers.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've covered our hate for the episode. So let's get out of cons and let's move on to Easter eggs.
All right, Easter eggs.
What do we have?
The first one was an odd one because it was announced really oddly. So Wells called his daughter Jessie Quick, and her name was Jessie. It was odd that he just said it like that because I would assume her name would be like Jessie Wells.
Yeah, that would, naming scheme, that would make the most sense.
That would make the most sense. But he called her Jessie Quick. Jessie Quick is a comic book speedster. She's one of the only female speedsters. She's the daughter of 2 JSA speedsters, Liberty Bell and Johnny Quick. She does tap into the Speed Force, but she got her powers through a serum.
Okay.
So she works mostly with Wally West, not Barry, but we got a Barry Allen world. We got Barry Allen characters.
Yeah.
Well,
we got Barry Allen characters. We also have Wally characters floating around. We got a little bit of everything. Yeah. We got Wally. We got Jay. We got everything.
So maybe that girl might get some speed a little later from Zoom, from somebody, from metahumaning. Who knows?
Yeah. Now, why do you think it is that Zoom has her captive, though? Do you think that's going to have something to do with speed powers, or that's just a lording it over Wells thing?
I think that's just like a holding something over Wells thing, but it seems weird because, like, Barry said, Wells, you're here to stop me then because he has your daughter, but then Wells is like, no, I'm trying to save my daughter. I'm like, well, is he going to kill her? I don't know what his plans are for her. Just holding her in ropes within a cage. Right.
I think he's holding her hostage maybe like to find out if she's going to get speed powers, something to activate. I don't know, because he had more than ample opportunity to attack Wells in that scene where he was lording Barry over them. Just to say, like, I've killed the speedster and to leave, but Wells is right there. So I don't think Wells is the target per se, so why would Zoom have her captive? I think that we might see Jessie the Speedster.
I think we'll see Jessie the Speedster.
Yeah.
I think she'll get some powers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, this wasn't an Easter egg. It's kind of going into my theories, though, about who Zoom is.
Oh, okay.
I've changed my opinions on who Zoom is.
Yeah, I think we both have.
I now really think Zoom is Earth 2 Barry's dad.
Yeah, it's Henry Allen. It's Henry Allen. Well, like, physically he's too big to be an evil Barry. This is the body of Henry Allen. It's a bigger build. I mean, like, that being said, like, if they are keeping it as a surprise, who knows what filming was. It might be a different stunt person in the suit than it'll be later. But I think they would have the attention to detail that if it was going to be a Barry or something like that, to at least get the frame right. But it definitely is. It's a wire stance.
Yeah, but also when they went to Earth 2 in one of the Wells flashbacks, the news reporter was announcing that Robert Queen was the Arrow on that Earth. He's Oliver Queen's dad. So if the Arrow on that Earth is Oliver Queen's dad, then I think the Zoom on that Earth would be Flash's dad. It's kind of very Flashpoint Paradox.
Right.
If you read Flashpoint Paradox, it was a comic where Flash went back in time, and he changed time, and then Bruce Wayne wasn't Batman. Thomas Wayne, his dad, was. So there's kind of like a Flash
They're
tradition.
really like leaning into that like alternate trajectory of being like, but what about dads? Like, it feels like some kind of like loose writing just to be like, what about dads? And I don't know why I'm always intrigued. I'm like, tell me more about dads. It does get me every time.
Well, this show has already 2 good dads.
Yeah, 2 great dads.
So now we need one shitty Earth 2 dad?
Right.
Like, to balance it out?
This show might as well be called Great Dads and the Women In on Their Secrets. Like, it's just
2.5 great dads?
2.5 great dads? I don't know what the hell. But yeah, it's a show full of great dads. One thing, too, that I find odd now is that literally I believe every character on the show except for Patty knows Barry's secret now. Including villains.
Oh, all the villains.
All the villains.
Like, all the villains on the Earth 2 side, and then I think just, like, Captain Cold on this side.
Captain Cold and Heatwave's gotta know, too.
Yeah, Captain Cold.
I don't know if Heatwave was told directly, but if Cold knows, Heatwave knows.
I don't know. Cold can keep a secret.
All right,
That's like the agreement he has with Barry.
All right. Either way, recurring weekly speaking role, you probably know that Barry Allen is Flash in this one.
Yeah, the only people who don't know are Patty and the Captain. And the Captain hasn't gotten, like, any lines this season.
Yeah. The Captain's been laying a little bit low. Yeah.
And then I have one more Easter egg, which is just not bothering me unless it's an homage and it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Zoom's plan thus far is Bane's plan in Nightfall, step per step.
Yeah.
So he sent a whole bunch of villains at Barry, which is what Bane does. He releases everyone out of Arkham to weaken Batman.
Yeah.
He broke his back. Bane did. Zoom did. And also, like, after Bane broke his back, Bane took Batman to a public place to be like, I've killed your hero. You suck now.
It's the idea of break the body, break the mind, and break the city. And and that seems to be the Zoom kind of attack, which... with the main thing, something we've seen before, but I enjoy seeing it again.
No, I'm not like upset, but
Okay.
I'm surprised it's so step by step the exact same plan.
Right.
I mean, it's a very famous plan, but I guess maybe if you watched Dark Knight Returns and you were like, oh wow, they did this terribly, let's redo it on Flash.
Yeah, and I know we had one comment that we wanted to address this week as well. There was a little something coming in on Twitter.
Week. So Lee Stevens wanted to know. If we noticed the flash lightning bolts on Cisco's shirt in episode 1, I didn't, but I think it makes sense they'd be there. I mean, Cisco knows the Flash got his powers from lightning.
Yeah, and he's terrible at like being subtle. So yeah, of course.
But Lee also wanted to know, how do we mix Patty and Barry's names as a couple?
Yeah, because this is the common TV thing now that like any romantic interest has to have a name mash, and Patty Barry does not go together well.
It does if you just call them Patty Bear.
I'm not calling anyone Patty Bear.
It's called Patty Bear, people.
I'm not calling anyone Patty Bear.
You don't have to, but you wouldn't call anyone anything anyway.
And it's one letter shorter. It's not a fun mashup. It's one letter shorter. It doesn't make for a good hashtag, and that's half the reason we need these things.
Brangelina isn't any shorter than saying Brad and Angelina.
No, I know, but it's just verbally upsetting also.
You know what? We got a question, and I answered it.
No, I like Patty. I like Barry. Patty Bear. Screw it off. I don't like that.
Well, what are you going?
I'm just going with Patty and Bear.
They could just be like PB. If there was a J in there, PB and J like Joe. When the two of them hang out with Joe, they're PB and J.
All right, you've created a very specific circumstance that I do enjoy. All right, I'm glad that you made it work. All right, on that note, I think that's everything. We've covered it all here tonight.
Yeah, I think that's everything from me.
Yeah, it's been a fun night. This was I really enjoyed this episode. And if you enjoyed Fan vs. Fan, be sure to check out Dork Shelf on Twitter in the link below. Comment on YouTube, tweet along with us every single week, and subscribe to the Dork Shelf channel. I don't believe I'm forgetting anything.
No, and you can send us your questions on Twitter if you want us to answer them on the show. We'll happy to do that.
Kicked him out!